Have you ever wondered why we say or do certain things and later on regret them? In my soon to be published book with the title How to Solve Problems Like a Pro, I help individuals and businesses acquire the skill of solving problems. In my previous video, I spoke about the many biases we all have as the reason why it becomes difficult for us to solve our problems. What is a bias, you may ask? A bias is an inclination for or against something or someone, especially in a way that may be regarded as unfair. Why biases have such a strong stranglehold on us is because they are part of us, just like the way we breathe. We don't even realize that we are breathing. And the same thing applies to biases. They operate just as quietly as breathing. Biases influence everything we do in our lives, be it in how and why we solve certain problems in a certain way and not in a different way, or how and why we make certain choices or decisions, and so on. That is why it is important for you to understand your own biases and have the way to manage them so that they don't lead you into saying or doing things which you may later on regret. Today, I'm talking about the anchoring bias. Welcome to my channel. Thank me later. My name is VNK, and I'm the wizard of personal growth. I would like to interact with you. So if you're interested in acquiring the skill of solving problems, just drop me a comment. So let's get back into it. An anchor is usually a metal device shaped like a hook and attached to a long, strong cable on one end. And the cable will be fastened to either a ship or a boat. Usually, when a ship docks at the harbor, the captain throws the anchor overboard and the anchor gets fastened to a strong fixed post for it not to fail to sail away. So an anchoring bias works in exactly the same way. The very first information we hear gets anchored in our mind, irrespective of whether or not the information is true or correct. We therefore rely on it. This information plays a crucial role when we make choices or decisions. So Steve Jobs actually took advantage of that particular phenomenon. So when Steve Jobs unveiled the iPad for the very first time, he said to his audience, well, speculation on the market is that the iPad is going to cost $999. That is the very first information he actually gave to his audience. Well, Steve didn't actually stop there. He kept on doing his presentation, but at the same time, he kept the price right up there throughout the whole presentation. And when it came to the time when he had to reveal the actual price of the iPad, Steve said, the price is going to be $499. So for those people who really wanted the iPad, they breathed a sigh of relief and immediately felt as if they'd saved $500 at an instant. And obviously, they thought of the price of 499 to be a bargain. Should you find this information interesting, give this video a like. So let's get back right into it. The problem with the anchoring bias is that it skews our judgment and prevents us from seeing things as clearly as they should be seen. It prevents us from considering other options with a sober mind and therefore influences our decision making. To overcome the stranglehold the anchoring bias has on you, you better do the following. Firstly, you should always be aware of the existence of the anchoring bias. And that's why they say forewarned is forearmed, because its power is in operating quietly and secretly, far away from your conscious awareness. Without awareness, it won't be easy for anybody to actually pull the kind of trick which was pulled by Steve Jobs on his audience. Secondly, now that you are aware of it, you must actively seek out additional information and alternatives before making any decision you are likely to regret later. Should you find this topic of possible interest to some people you may know, please share this video with them. So let's get back right into it. As an entrepreneur, you can actually use this anchoring bias in your favor. Well, first of all, tell your prospects how much your product or service is going for when you are doing business in other places. And also tell them that instead of you charging them the amount of monies that you actually charge those other places, you're actually going to be charging them a once off price of so and so. Say, suppose you give them a discount of about 50%. But because you will have already mentioned how much your product or your service is going for in other places, and the moment you say 50% discount, they will then perceive your price to be quite low and reasonable. And they will actually think you're giving them a bargain. Should you find this topic of interest to you, please subscribe and hit the notification button. And by the way, it's free so that you get notified when I release the next video. And talking about the next video, it's going to be about the availability heuristic bias. As of now, stay blessed. Ciao.